we bring in BYU punter extraordinaire, a guy who has punter swag. There are not many that do. His name is Lee Johnson, or should I call you Cool Guy Lee? Because that's what we heard from Kelly Papinga.
Well, from what I'm hearing right now, it should be LeBron Johnson because everything is about LeBron. But no, you can call me whatever you want. Kickers, talk about getting bullied. I've been bullied since I was, my first time I decided to be a kicker, I started being bullied, and I never cried or complained. But, hey, that's a whole different story, guys.
What kind of nicknames did you have, Lee, when you were playing?
You can't say it on air, boys. I'll just say that
Especially
right now.
on BYU TV and BYU Radio?
Something kicker. How about that?
Okay.
Figure it out. You're a something kicker.
Nice. Lee Johnson with us.
I'm hearing Thunderfoot was one.
No, I was Thunderfoot at BYU. Yeah, where things are good.
Oh, you're saying in the NFL it got
Nah, even at BYU. But no, BYU was a cleaner version of that something kicker. But no, in the NFL it changed quickly.
Is that why you took off your shoe? To be like, look, I'm a tough dude. I kick with no shoe.
That makes it worse, guys. Anytime you do something weird, then it's just there. The last thing you want to be is considered a weird. Kickers are already weird, so you take your shoes off. That's weird. That's different. So, but I tried. I tried to hang with the guys and be cool.
At some point, when you come in studio and do an interview with us, will you do the interview with no shoe on your left foot?
I will. I'll do it a bag over my head and no shoe on my left foot.
I appreciate that. We've been talking about the big three, LeBron and big threes in the NBA and whatnot. We've been talking about kind of a fantasy big three of any quarterback, running back, and then a receiver or tight end in BYU history. You can mix and match who you want. What's your big three, Lee?
Well, you guys are setting me up. My boss is Chad Lewis, so it has to be him.
Okay.
One of my good friends is Steve Young, so it has to be him.
Who's the running back?
And the running back, I think. Are you guys there?
We're here.
Yeah.
Oh, someone just hung up. I must have one on the other line. Oh, my gosh, the running back. Who would the running back be? You know what? It was either Eddie Stinnett, Casey Tiamalu, Vai
Lakehemuli.
Kelly Smith, Lakehemuli. Who would I pick? Oh, man. You know what, though? Luke Staley. I heard you guys say Luke. Luke was crazy good. Let's just go with Luke, because anyone's going to hear this. How many listeners we got? A couple hundred million out there?
We'll tell you when we're actually on. Wait, what?
Okay.
No, when we're live, we'll let you know.
See, that's part of the discussion here, Lee, is BYU just didn't run the ball as much. The opportunity that Jamal Williams, Harvey Unga, Curtis Brown, these guys are breaking the all-time leading rushing record, one, because they're good, but two, they're getting more opportunities. So the generations coming up now that are BYU football fans, they don't know who Kelly Smith and Casey Tuimalu and even Peter Tuipulotu, how good those guys were.
Yeah, you're right. They were great players, and we've had so many great backs. How do you pick it? I think you look at McMahon, and I think what McMahon did, but how do you say McMahon's better than Steve or Ty Detmer or Robbie Bosco? But they all have these amazing things. Steve could, run and make things out of nothing. Ty was a great brain. McMahon was just this amazing force. Robbie Bosco, he was just all around great. I know I'm killing someone out there because there's so many great quarterbacks, but I don't know. That's a tough one. I always hate doing that because how do you do it? But, so, Chad Lewis, great. Gordon Hudson, great. What are you going to do there?
Yeah,
this is why it's a juicy
Clay
topic.
Brown. How about Clay Brown? McMahon, Clay Brown, Scott Pettis. So
David Mills.
There you go.
All those guys.
David Mills. Quit it, you guys.
Lee Johnson, the longest tenured NFL player to ever come out of BYU, was a draft pick in the 5th round. Not many punters are drafted, and Lee, you were that guy. Now you have a new job working with, you mentioned your boss, Chad Lewis, in development.
Yes.
What is your role with BYU and working with Chad Lewis?
It's all development. It's all about raising funds for the program. The 21 sports, 621 athletes. I'm involved with Chad and Robbie, Brian Carpenter on the LDS Philanthropies piece, and, of course, Tom and Santiago. And it's, we're managing relationships, the great donors we have already, keeping them happy, letting them know how much we appreciate them. And you're always out looking for something new, something fresh, and coming up with ideas to make people want to just help out, really, donate, helping out the program. That's what I'm doing.
You and Chad have an extra several ounces of energy that other people don't normally do. Is there anything that you take to help you have energy, or is this natural from you and Chad, who presented at the Y Awards together?
That's right. Wasn't that great? No, we take things to mellow us out. What you see is us on drugs that have mellowed us out. So look out when we're not on our meds.
Fair enough. Lee Johnson with us on BYU Sports Nation. Let's talk about the current BYU kicker situation. You've also been working with the guys that are going to take the important kicks for BYU in 2014. What are you seeing from those guys, Moose Bingham, Trevor Sampson, and now Corey Edwards? What are you seeing? What are you liking? What do they need to work on?
Well, Moose is the guy that came in last year before, and I thought I coached Moose up, and Sorensen I think was obviously the guy. Moose is the guy that made a lot of improvements. He's leading the pack. If I were to predict, Moose would start today, but I haven't seen Trevor, who came back, and from what I've seen in the last couple of days, the guy's killing the ball. And Corey's young. Corey is a big-legged lefty. I don't see him playing a role as far as field goals, but he's got the biggest kickoff leg. So crystal ball right today would say Moose handling field goals, and then Corey probably kicking off, and then possibly redshirting Trevor. Or I think Trevor, if it's all equal, I think it's between Trevor and Moose, and they're going to have to battle it out. I don't think Corey's quite ready to take on the field goal duties. He's got a pretty nasty hook in his swing, and I'd like to work with him, and I will spend some more time with him. But good kid, fresh off a mesh, just getting back into the swing, but has the biggest leg of the guys for kicking off.
Interesting. Bronco Mendenhall on signing day talked a lot about Corey Edwards, was impressed by him. Previous to the fall, you were working with the kickers last summer. Do you have a better opportunity now that you're actually in the building to be able to work with those guys occasionally?
Not really. Probably less of an opportunity because
closer but worse.
Yeah, well, no. As far as being here and just be able to run downstairs and help out, obviously I can do it all the time. But I've got to be, and I'm not even sure, and we probably shouldn't be talking on this on live radio. Being an employee at BYU, it has not allowed me to work with the kickers at the level that I did last year.
Sure.
Because of there might be some issues, and we never want to cross those lines with the NCAA. So, I'm able to watch and maybe give a pointer here or two, here and there. But for the most part, it's from an eye far away and just looking out over the field. But given all that, also, I've got a chance to help out and coach them up when I can, when it's right.
So who and when and how are the kickers coached?
Well, most kickers, when they're at this level, hopefully don't need to be coached. That's what I told a kid yesterday. If you're able to go out and hit a ball that is a big league ball, then you don't need to be coached. What you need to learn is coach your brain. Figure out, okay, I know I hit a great ball. Now go do it again. And that's the difference between a good or just a kicker and a good kicker, and even a great kicker is hitting that ball that you can hit physically 8 out of 10 times. And that's just a mental thing. That's what makes people great, right? The golfers that are great, there's a lot of great ball strikers out there, but how can they strike that ball great all the time? Those are the guys that become great players. So I tell them, look, you just showed me you're physically capable of being a great kicker. Now it's up to you to get your mind the place it needs to be to hit that same ball all the time. I can come out here and watch you and say, oh, you pushed it left, you blocked your hips. But if you can't look at me after a kick and saying, I pushed it left, I blocked my hips, and you're never going to be a good kicker. I'm just there to agree with what you told me you did wrong. So I don't even know how I started on that tangent other than these kids are here at college in D1. They should know what they're doing. They should know what they did wrong, and they don't need me to tell them how to do what they need to do. They need me to be a sounding board. So Paul Tidwell and Papinga, those guys hopefully can be a good sounding board. And my recommendation would be just that, a sounding board. Don't try to coach these kids because you probably don't know how to coach them as a technical kicker. But be the sounding board and saying, okay, good, I like it. Let's look at film and play that role. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's a lot about self-analysis. Lee Johnson
it
joining
totally
us.
Is.
Yeah, former BYU kicker and punter, played in the NFL. We've talked about the kickers. Let's talk about the punter now on this BYU team. Scott Arlano is a great athlete. We saw flashes of brilliance from him last year. We heard from Kelly Papinga. He's one of the fastest guys on the team. How can he utilize his overall athletic ability to become one of the all-time great BYU punters?
Well, unfortunately, you can. I could probably move my finger faster than anyone on the team, but that's not going to make me a better punter. The fact that Scott Arlino can run faster than anyone, if you want to run fakes every time, that might be great. Look, great athletes do great things, but it goes back to what I just said. We're specialists. We do special things. Scott Arlino has got to hit that 60-yard punt that turned over and looks beautiful and do that 8 out of 10 times. So what's going to make him great is, okay, the ball's got to be dropped this way, my foot's got to make contact this way, and I got to do it. And Scott, some guys are programmed to be great. Other guys are programmed to be good. Scott right now is a good punter with great potential. He hasn't been able to transfer that 60-yard punt 3 out of 10 times into 8 out of 10 times. Why? I can only say it's because he either can't and never will, or he hasn't learned how to teach his brain how to do it those other 4 times out of 10 he needs to do it. So Scott's a great athlete. Yeah, he can run fast and he can hold and do these great things, but to be a great punter, he's got to get more consistent. And that just either comes because you've trained your brain better or you're just not meant to be. And you know what? Most kids don't go play in the pros. So maybe they're not meant to be, but he can still be a good punter and do good things. So I just hope Scott can keep working hard because physically he's great.
Kelly Papinga alluded at the possibility of some fake punts this year with Scott. They ran at least one in the bowl game. Did you have fake punt calls for you, and what was that like?
You do, and I had a couple in college. And a couple in the pros, actually. So it was great. I didn't like it. It would scare me to death. I would hope the stadium would blow up before the game because I didn't want any part of that.
Someone's going to step on your foot.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't want anything to do with I'm a kicker. I don't want to run. I don't want to tackle. But Scott, on the other hand, he's programmed like a real football player because he did play and he is a great athlete. So they need to utilize that, I think, more. Maybe a rollout, like Utah does with their punter. He's got a rugby-style punt, which I think is great. It does keep you on your heels. You're not going to come after the ball. But, I don't know. In the end, you don't ever want to have a fourth and 8, and you fake it, and then that's just a disaster.
Right.
You want to do anything you can to get it in their hands and get it out of their hands, just forcing them to punt. So, but always a thought of a guy with a great arm or great speed.
Hey,
it
Lee,
keeps you alert.
It's been great to hear from you. The insight that you can't get anywhere else from a guy that did it consistently, and we'll hope that Scott can learn how to transfer the 3 for 10 60-yard ball to the 8 out of 10 and take it to the next level.
There you go, guys. Excellent.
Hey, I'm being told that Wyoming has sent an invoice through BYU Broadcasting to you to replace their scoreboard for breaking it.
You love that, bro? That was the greatest day of my life. Oh, my gosh. I think they put a scoreboard up just like we did back in the day, and it was brand new, and I just torched it. It was so great.
BYU generally did on the scoreboard. Yeah.
That was fantastic. Hey, Lee, join us again, will you?
Hey, thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.
Nope. That was fantastic.
I love me some Lee Johnson, man.
I torched it.
That guy's so energetic and fun.